Buongiorno, buonasera, benvenuti amici. Welcome my friends. My name is Vincenzo and welcome to my channel, and the channel is Fountain Pen Therapy. Welcome to another weekly recap. I have my espresso. It's early in the morning when I'm taping this. It's now late October and as you know, I'm a golf fanatic, and I think the golf is, I think it's over for here in Montreal anyway. Looking forward to my trip to Portugal. We'll be playing some golf with my son later in the end of the year. And you know, it's cold, kind of cloudy and rainy. So it's just a perfect time to enjoy our pens and do some journaling and preparing this video for you, which I enjoy on a weekly basis. Now, at the time that I'm taping this, it's now Friday, because I'm taping some of it. What typically happens if I want to get this review out by Sunday is that I've got to start taping things before. Tonight, Friday, so, you know, we're going to be going to a Pelican Hub, the first one here in Montreal. I'm looking forward to it. One of the viewers reached out to me, and we'll report to you on that Pelican Hub activity perhaps next week. This week besides my regular segments, I did meet with one of the owners and directors, part of management of AURORA Pens, who visited Montreal and visited one of my friends' boutique, if you will. He owns a jewelry shop, a beautiful jewelry shop, and we'll take you through that. Got some pictures for you and some news there as well. So, you know, we've got lots of things to share with you again, as usual. So without any further ado, Fountain Pen Therapy presents the weekly recap for October 26, 2025. Okay, so for the first segment, we'll take a look at what's new in the market. And typically, let's start with the Chinese pen market and AliExpress. And what do I see there? Not much, folks. It's kind of quiet. I know that Teresa Harris wrote to me in a comment in one of my videos. She's saying it's very slow. There's very little to report. But some things are coming, and I just don't know when. I think the MAJOHN's in the news just a little bit, and let me go to my overhead camera to show you what I've been able to see. First of all, you're seeing here, this is the MAJOHN Titanium Alloy TI 136. Let me just cut. And so far we see the TI 136, which is really, you know, a kind of a Mont Blanc 146 size pen, if you will. Not a 149 size, and so far it came in these two models. You got kind of a gold trimming with just a smooth cap and barrel, and one with the hammered cap and barrel. But what I've noticed is that same 136, there's a new version out, which is a titanium alloy. They call it pension, but as you can see, it's got kind of it's all in silver trimmings. There's no gold trimmings there at all, but it's got kind of this chain motif. So that's new. In addition, MAJOHN, apparently, if we take a look at Shanghai Knife Dude, posted this coming soon posting where he announced that MAJOHN's going to come out with this new pen, which is the MAJOHN TI 141. So it's the larger version of the TI 136, probably in line with the Montblanc 149. You're going to have both the smooth version and the hammered version, except as you can see, the hammered version will not have, apparently, an ink window. He also stated that, we're still waiting for this Hongdian Han, special edition pen. It hasn't come out yet. I know that for that MAJOHN, I've been literally surfing on a daily basis, if not 3 or 4 times a day. And maybe by the time this review will come out, it will have already been posted, that MAJOHN, and maybe even this Hongdian. I don't know when. If Shanghai Knife Dude has any news as to when either of these pens will be coming to us, please let us know. Okay, I just want to interrupt this video just to demonstrate how you can get easily carried away and perhaps even scammed when you're looking for pens, and especially when you're most anxious to buy one particular brand or one particular model that's being announced. I've just gone over this new announcement that MAJOHN is going to come out with this larger size, if you will, TI titanium 136. Shanghai Knife Dude said it's going to be the TI 140 perhaps, but in a bigger size. In other words, it's a 149 size as compared to a 130, 146 size. And I thought I finally found it, because I've been tracking it, tried to see if it's being offered yet, and I couldn't find it. But finally I found something, and I ordered it, and I was very enthusiastic. I said, I'm going to receive it, we're going to review it, and etc. I just want to show you. I'm going to go to my computer how I got scammed, and hopefully I will get a refund. I saw this MAJOHN TI 149. Now, foolish me, you can see the number 136 here, and I just didn't pay attention. I figured that this was it, the TI 149, and what I did, rather than order the smooth version, this one here, I said, you know what, I have the smooth version and the 136. If I'm going to get this new TI 149, I want to get it in the hammered version. So I paid the premium, $230.38. Then something told me later on I just couldn't believe it, If you go down in the description, you see that it says model TI 136. So I got scammed, okay? Essentially, I didn't pay attention. This 136 should have alerted me. So I sent a request to cancel it immediately. It's the trader is Pens Supply Store Trader. Be very, very careful. We shall see if this outfit will honor the reimbursement. It does give you this guarantee, that if you don't like what you ordered, you can return it. Free returns within 90 days. Well, I'm not even returning. They haven't even shipped it yet, and I'm canceling. If not, I'm going to take other measures to get reimbursed. But having said that, be very, very careful. In the same light, I previously mentioned this MAJOHN TI 136 pension, which I thought was just a different version of the TI 136 with a different kind of a scaled look. But when you look at the finer print, once again, you realize that this is not a MAJOHN TI 136. it's a pension. Now, is it titanium? Is it not titanium? So be very careful. I don't know what this pension is. I've noticed that they have more than one offering under the name pension. So now here it's PK MAJOHN TI 136. So you've got people using MAJOHN now to sell pens and mislead you. So I frankly, folks, I don't know what this nib is all about. I don't know if this is a worthy purchase. It's $75. I'd be very wary about this particular purchase. It may very well prove to be something of interest. I will leave that up to you to decide, but I thought that I give those details so that you can make a more informed decision. So there you have it. I've interrupted the video. We'll go back to the video in just a few seconds. What else have I got for you? I noticed that there's this series of stabilized wood pens. They really look like one of the versions of the Jinhouse, but it's not described as Jinhouse. So for any of you who are looking to add to your stabilized wood collection, there are these pens at $39, which is a good deal. What else have I got for you? Here it is. This kind of snuck on me. I don't know how long it's been. I was always under the impression that the 630 Wing Sung number 8 nib only came in fine, and I believe it was extra fine, and maybe medium. I'm not even sure that medium was around. And now I notice they have both they have it in extra fine, medium, and broad. So I made sure to order, I believe it's the broad, because I love the broad in the 930. Now, I'm just hoping that this is not 930 nib, erroneously described as 630. But, it doesn't look like it. It doesn't look like it. So now, Wing Sung 630, you can get it in extra fine, medium, and broad, which is good news. What else have I got for you? Yes, the Asvine C2000 stabilized wood version looks like it's coming in this darker blue. I had not seen this version before. Now, it is dark blue red. Now, is it the photo that's just, not the right color? It looks blue, more blue than the red that we've been used to, even the dark red. So I believe that this may actually be a different color. So that's new. What else have I got for you? Oh, this kind of Delta, this is the Casa della Stilografica. Delta's come out with the Mini, the Delta Dolce Vita Mini. Now, I've been looking to purchase the original Mini, which is anywhere between $800 and $1,000 right now on eBay. And I'm looking at all the auction sites to hopefully grab one of those at a more reasonable price. I was tempted to buy this new version, but it's just not the original. So I'm hesitating because this one is only 320 only. It's 326 euros, which is, upwards of $400-500 Canadian. But it's out there right now. I saw it on a couple of sites, and I thought I mentioned that to you. But stay tuned. I may actually get the original if I can get my hands on a reasonably priced used version. I also discovered this site, which is called Invaluable. It's an auction site which has lots of fountain pens. I'm going to put that in the description. And I noticed that the Waterman Edson is up for grabs. They say estimated $200-400. While that would be a great price because these things are going for almost $1,000. I've put in a bid, but you're welcome to bid and outbid me. I already have one, but if I can snap that one up at a reasonable price, I see the Waterman Koren is there as well. So I invite you to take a look at this this auction site if you don't know about it already. And there you have it. That's really it in terms of what's new in the market. Nothing else. I mean, you have the regular sailor novelties. You know, they come up with different colors of the same pens. But, you know, the same thing, really. There's nothing new that really stuck out for me. But there you have it. Quiet days in the market, as they say. So there you have it. Stay tuned for my next segment. Okay, so we're back for the next segment, which is what's new in the fountain pen therapy studios. What have I got for you this week? Well, I have 3 writing instruments, actually 2 writing instruments and 1 new nib that I received this week. Rest of the stuff is still in the mail. Not in the mail because our Post Canada is on strike, but it's being delivered, as they say, including that scribble, the new scribble that they promised me. I just noticed that FedEx should be delivering that and may actually be delivering it sometime on the weekend prior or after this the taping of this review. So stay tuned for that. I want to go over my AURORA visit, or a visit with my AURORA friends, in just a second, and then we'll take a look at the writing instruments and that new nib that I got. Let's start with the purchases, and then we'll take a look at the AURORA visit. Okay, so go to my overhead camera. You can see three items here of interest. First of all, let me take a look at this. As you know, I'm really become a great fan of these mechanical pencils. They're just, it's become a new obsession of mine. And I received another one that I just got in the mail, but I think I plan to do a detailed review of that one. This one here is the Staedtler hexagonal mechanical pencil. Just beautiful. Take a look at that. I like these, pencil-like shaped writing instruments. We're going to do some writing with this in just a second. Later on, it's going to go into my weekly currently inked, and we'll take a look at how it writes. This is a 05, and you can modify the hardness as well. It's really, really nice, I got to tell you. Just a beautiful mechanical pencil. So I've added that to my collection. Next thing is, this is a MAJOHN P140, so nothing new here. Is it the 140 or the 141? I keep mixing them up. No, I think this is just a 140, yeah. But what's new about it is that I finally got my hands on a fine nib. And I wanted to show you how that fine nib writes. All of the Sun Expedition nibs that I have are all medium. But I finally got the fine, and I was pleasantly surprised. So we'll take a look at the Sun Expedition nib from MAJOHN in the fine version. And then I have a little bit of an unboxing here. This is a Navlar pen. I haven't been too kind to Navlar. I don't find their pens particularly, or their nibs particularly exciting. So they haven't been on my favorite list, if you will. But I walked into one of our local pen shops, and this pen was on sale, and I couldn't refuse it. The price was just perfect for me, and I've been eyeing this pen for a while. So here it is. Let me just open it up for you. Okay, there's the warranty, and here it is. It's the Navlar Eclipse, and I really liked the color of this pen that it came in, this beautiful gold. Folks, I paid this $100 Canadian, so I thought it was a great deal. I know that if I would have purchased this way at the start, it would have cost me considerably more. One thing that I was surprised about this pen is the size of this Eclipse pen. We'll do some writing with it in just a few minutes. Very, very nice, I got to tell you. I might actually do a detailed review. Finally got my hands on one of these, and I love the size. It's much, much bigger than your capless kind of pilot capless clones, Janaus and MAJOHNs, or even the original Pilot. Much, much bigger, much girthier, much longer. Really like this pen. So a good purchase for $100. There you have it. So we're going to do some writing with these things in just a little while. In the meantime, we'll just put that away. So those are my new additions for this week, if you will. What I'd like to discuss with you now is my Aurora visit. Okay, so first of all, a friend of mine, friend, neighbor, co-member at my golf club as well, Mr. SCALZO, Carlo SCALZO, just a fascinating personality, I've got to tell you. Owns a beautiful jewelry shop in the Montreal area, and I'll show you some pictures of the frontage of the shop. And amongst other things, I mean, he sells beautiful Italian jewelry, and which brings me to this ring that a lot of you have been asking about, and we'll deal with it. I know I promised to do so in the last time, and I forgot to do it, but we'll deal with it now. And including in various products that he sells, amongst 18 karat gold, Italian products, watches. He also sells Monte Grappa pens, and now he's added to his line the Aurora pens. So here is kind of I took some videos of video footage of the pen boxes, if you will, or displays. As you can see here, there's the Monte Grappa. He's got some beautiful Monte Grappa pens, and of course he's catering to more the non-collector, if you will, persons who might be interested in purchasing a pen either for gifts or for themselves, but not necessarily. It's not a pen shop, so he does have quite a bit of choice, but not an unlimited choice. Then you have, of course, here the Aurora. Here you have it. And then here's a couple of photos that I took with Edolinda, or Linda Difonso. She's the commercial director and part owner, along with the family, of Aurora. Just a fascinating personality as well. We had just a great time. I also had another friend of mine, co-golfer, who was there, who I've quickly penabled, if you will. He's always liked fountain pens and been fascinated, but now I think I got him going. I've showed him a few, and I think he's going to be joining us in terms of collections, and he's going to start with our friend Carlo, who will be able to sell them some Aurora and Monte Grappa pens. He's already purchased a few, and he's looking forward to some additions. I know that Aurora is presented a new catalog to Caprice, that's the boutique, and that Carlo is going to be adding to his offerings. And you know what? I think I enabled him. Here's a picture of a new Optima that Linda showed me that's coming out. And I finally ordered from her and through Carlo a new model that I did not have from Aurora, and that's the Aurora International. You'll see a picture of it right here. I chose it in the green model, green and with a medium nib, and Carlo's going to be ordering that for me, so he should be receiving it from Aurora sometime soon. I'm also looking to add new models. Right now I have the Optima, essentially, and the Talentum, but I want to be able to add to that collection. So there you have it. So fascinating. And she also gave me this USB compilation of, she's got some videos and pictures of her new collections, etc., that are going to be coming out, that I'm going to be using as B-roll in some of my future reviews. So very nice visit with Linda. Thank you very much, Linda, for being there. And she's welcomed me and encouraging me to visit the Aurora facilities in Torino, Italy, which I will be doing first thing. As soon as I get my next trip to Italy, I will make sure that Aurora forms part of it. We'll take some B-roll. We'll have some good time with Linda there. And she promised that she would show me around not only the facilities, but the city. So there you have it. I think it's a nice connection there. And we kind of hit it off. She was there with her daughter, who studies here in Montreal in one of our universities. So thank you very much, Linda. We'll see you soon. Promise. So there you have it. That's what's new in the Fountain Pen Therapy studios. So stay tuned. We'll take a look at some paper, some inks, and we'll do some writing. We'll be right back. Okay, before I forget, a little bit about this ring that I'm wearing that I keep forgetting to deal with. A lot of people have asked me, that's a beautiful ring. Where did you get it? What's, et cetera, et cetera. Well, that's my pal, Carlos Scalzo at Caprice SIGNE SCALZO boutique. Let me just go to my cut to the camera to my website. Here's his website, Caprice with jewelry. He's got some beautiful jewelry, folks. I mean, he's got Italian, he's got watches, and he's also repairs, gold or watches. So great person, an expert in the field. He's got a lot of charm, and on top of that, now he's selling AURORA pens along with his Monte Grappa offerings. So that's where that comes from. Now, the rings are these. They're called tomb rings. Timeless Italian elegance. Tomb, an Italian jewelry brand, weaves a 2,000-year-old story that transcends time and borders, speaking directly to the heart and soul. Each piece is imbued with an enduring message of love, making it a treasure to be cherished forever. And in fact, let me just show you. So those are the different types of pen. Let me show you mine. So we'll go back to my overhead camera, if you will. And so here's the ring. Now, the ring is wide, and there is an M, but what's inscribed there in Latin is in fact the prayer of the Hail Mary. With the M is for the Hail Mary. You got also the Holy Father, the prayer of Holy Father. So those of you who are Catholic will understand. And it's all written and inscribed in Latin. Very nice. I mean, this thing, usually I wear rings, and after a while they start to bend and take the shape of your finger and start to wear out. This thing is just endless. It was a gift from my wife, and it's well cherished. I wear it all the time, except when I'm playing golf. So it's kind of become the same thing as my wedding band. It never leaves the finger. So greatly appreciated, Carlos. So that's where that ring comes from, and I will leave the website of Caprice Scalzo down in the description. So there you have it. Now we can proceed to the next segment. Okay, so we're back with the next segment, which is what have I got for you in terms of paper? Well, let me tell you, I've been raving about good ink impressions several times, especially my ink swatching journal that I've shown you. And I figured I'd show you also the other. I have a notebook, a small pocket notebook, and a regular A5 size notebooks. So we'll take a look at all those offerings that I have and show you the website. Let's start with the website. I think they've got some fascinating products, and I did want to make sure that you got the benefit of those. So here we are. Let me just go to... Yeah, you can find these notebooks on Etsy. There is a GOODINKPRESSIONS boutique. You'll see that they have all kinds of Tomo River notebooks. They have planners, monthly planners, weekly planners. They have it in Tomo River Filofax as well. So you have these notebooks. Some of them you'll see are cream or white color. You have some of them that are 68 GSM. Some of them are 52 GSM. And they come in all kinds of colors and sizes, and including the ink journal, which I will get to. Here it is. You can get the ink journals, both in white and cream, and you've got all kind. They come in all kinds of colors, of course. And I'll take a look at those right now, and I'll show you what I have in my collection, and we'll do some swatching with that paper and some writing with that paper as well. So let's cut to my overhead camera. Let's start first of all with the ink journals that I wanted to show you, and which I've shown you before, but now that we're dealing with this collection, I figured I'd put them all here. As you can see, the ink journal is essentially Tomoe River, and it's got this kind of template. So you do your swatching here, you do brand, put your brand, your name, and your date, and we'll do some swatching on this on these notebooks in a second with the inks that I've chosen for this week. And it comes in different colors. So what I've done is, I put my green inks here because I've got so many of them. My browns. I put my violet, purple, and red here, and I've got my orange and yellow here, and then I've got gray. The gray one I put kind of gray and black that go with this, and then of course I've got my blue, and then I have an additional one where I kind of, instead of swatching by color, I swatch by brand. So there you have it. I think it's a fascinating, very good journal to swatch your inks in, and you're getting it on really nice paper. The only downside, I would say the only negative thing about this is that with Tomoe River, you're almost sacrificing one side of the page, but that goes with the territory, so to speak. I mean, you could conceivably swatch on both sides. I've chosen not to because there's just a bit too much see-through and sometimes even some bleed-through depending on the inks. So there you have it. So that's the ink journals. Put that aside, and we'll bring one back to do our swatching in a second. The other, this is a notebook. So, this is one of the notebooks. It comes in this lined, or I think you can get it in grids as well, or blank. It's a nice notebook with a harder type of cover. It comes with this blotter page as well, and it comes with this elastic. It's not a thick notebook, so you can include this in, you can have several of them, if you will, all put them in leather covers, and it can, kind of take the place like a traveler's notebook, if you will. That's one of them. The other one I have from as well is this small one. It's kind of a weekly, if you know about Obenichi weekly sizes, that's the size here. And this comes in kind of a grid. So that's also different sizes. And of course, they all come in different colors. So there you have what I think is a very good product at reasonable prices. Find them on Etsy. That's the paper. And by the way, this one is 68 GSM, which I rarely have. Usually it's 52. So it's much thicker than what you would find in the Obenichi, for example. So we'll do some swatching on that. And this one is it 52 or 68? 1 second, I can just feel it. Yeah, I think it's 68, but let me just make sure. I go on the website. Don't want to steer you. Yeah, it's 68. They're both 68 GSM. So we'll take a look at how, the inks swatch on a much thicker Tomoe River paper than what you're usually accustomed to with me. We'll set up the inks, show you the inks that I've chosen for the week, and we'll be right back. Okay, so we're back with the ink swatching therapy. The inks I have for you is 4 MAJOHN inks. I know I've reviewed and shown you already 3 of them, and these are the other 4 that I have that I thought I'd share with you. First of all, I have a kind of a light blue, I would say, which is, the official name is Yunshan. So the Yunshan light blue comes in a 50 milliliter bottle. I also think they come in smaller bottles, but just a beautiful, beautiful ink. I got to tell you, I really recommend these inks. They go for about $15 Canadian. No, so they're not expensive at all. This one is the kind of a burgundy, which the official name is Jinghua, if I'm pronouncing that right. Probably not, but I'm giving it a go. The third one is a kind of teal, Yusheng. So the Yusheng teal. And then I've got kind of the only way I can describe it would be actually, this is the Shuyu, if I'm pronouncing that right. It's kind of a blue-gray. So there you have the 4 inks that I propose. We're going to just move in with my water, both the notebook and the ink journal. So that's that. As usual, I'm using my Sailor Akoro with the feed. So this is, whoop, bit too much. MAJOHN, whoops. And I would call it a blue, maybe even a blue-black. And it's Shuyu. So, MAJOHN. Shuyu. And we'll call it a blue-black. I love this sailor. I think I used all kinds before, and if you guys take a look at my ink swatching pen or dip pen video, I went through all of them, and I think I've made my choice, and I'm going to stick to it until something novel comes out. This is kind of a red burgundy, which is the Jinhua. There we go. Oh. And I just dropped things all over the place. Okay. MAJOHN. I'm going to call it a burgundy. Kind of a brownish red. And let me just see how it's spelled. Jinhua. So, MAJOHN. Jinhua. And I'll burgundy. Okay, here we go. Should dry off. Let me just get my plotter to get rid of this mess. Okay, and this one. Okay, so we'll close that. The next one is that teal. Go. I just want to make sure I dry off this properly and not spill it again. Okay. So this is the MAJOHN. Kind of a greenish teal. It's coming out a little more green than I expected. It's the Yusheng. So MAJOHN. Yusheng. And it's kind of a teal. Although I would say kind of a teal green. More on the green side than on the blue side. And maybe teal is not the right name for it, but then there's this light blue, which is my favorite, along with the darker blue. I got to tell you, this very nice, very, very, very nice ink. And the ink has nice flow, nice properties. Some sheening, I think, as will become apparent soon, I hope. But nothing exaggerated. So what's good about it is they're very nicely they're well-behaved inks while giving you some depth. Okay, so this is MAJOHN. It's going to be a little darker than, but it's the light blue, because the dark blue is even darker. It's not coming out as light as I thought it would. This is the Yunshan. So MAJOHN. Yunshan. Light blue. There you have it. Okay, so that completes the ink swatching. Folks, recommended for $15 Canadian, 50 milliliters. You can't beat it. They're excellent, excellent inks. We'll give them a go. We'll let them dry off here, and then we'll kind of see how they perform, or what they look like once they're all nice and dry. Be right back. Okay, so we're back. The swatches have been, I think, they're fairly dry. There's a little wet spots here on the on this one, but this one's fine. You can see, look how beautiful that blue-black or kind of grayish blue is. Really, really nice. I like that color. You can see the burgundy. There's some interesting shading and a little bit of sheen as well to just give it just a touch of character. Same thing goes for that teal. And you can see a little more teal here than originally when it was wet. And then, of course, you got this lighter blue, which is not as light as I thought it would be, but it's not a dark, dark blue. There you have it. The same properties you can see on the swatch, although I find that on this, which is, you know, a little bit less, it's whiter than this ivory paper here. I find there's a little more sheening on this one, but that could be just a function of, you know, the swatch, which can vary from swatch to swatch. They're not all homogeneous and, you know, perfectly alike, depending on how you ink it, you ink the nib, and how you spread the ink. It may vary, of course, but it does give you a general idea. Beautiful ink, folks. I certainly recommend them. So, and speaking of inks, and you know, I always create a mess when I swatch my inks. I can never do them, you know, swatch inks without getting my hands full of ink. I wanted to mention to you that this is the product I use. This is a heavy-duty hand cleaner with moisturizer, pumice powered. It's a type of soap that is used by, you know, automobile mechanics, or mechanics that, you know, are constantly touching oils and that kind of environment. And so I thought I'd mention a shout out. Lava, good product, fairly good. Not perfect, but, you know, I think it's by far a very, very good product that I use all the time. You can find it on Amazon, and I'll try to put a link down in the description to my storefront where you can take a look at whether or not this is a product that you may be interested in. So there you have it. I thought I'd mention that. So that's it for my ink swatching. Stay tuned. We'll go to my next segment. Okay, so we're back. Next segment is I'm going to revisit some of the pens. And certainly some of the pens have come out, some of the comments, or out of some of my, or out of that one review that we did this week, which was on that Hero, is it 1086? And I may get the number wrong, but that Pilot Justice clone, if you will. Let's start out with that. So we'll go to my overhead camera. And, you know, I got some very interesting comments. Some people like this pen more than others. I've also, one reviewer actually corrected me in terms of my overall feeling was that this was not giving me, you know, the variation up and down was not giving me a significant difference in terms of width of the line. That viewer actually measured it, and provided me with the exact details. Ultimately, there is a distinction to be made between the line that you get from the nib when that sheet or that overlay is all the way down and they're more flexible, and when it's all the way up. I still think that this mechanism is not friendly. Again, let me try to see if I can turn it. You see, it just doesn't turn. I have to go offline to get it going, and once it gets going, it's fine. So that to me is a deal breaker. Now, some of you suggested that I put some silicone there or maybe there to try to get it to lubricate it a little bit. I'm going to try doing that this week. But, from what I saw in terms of the Pilot Justice and how that mechanism works, this doesn't compare. But I did want to, so let's, and we'll do some writing on this Good Impressions notebook. So this is the Hero 1086. And I have to insist on the fact that the nib and the writing experience is very good. Okay, so I don't want it to be a complete flop, okay, because I would be doing injustice to this nib. I think that it does perform. It gives me an excellent line. It is soft and very wet. And this is at its highest position. So if I lower that overlay, it's going to be even better. So I did want to be fair with this pen and not, completely, batter it. It does, unfortunately, have that mechanism that doesn't work perfectly, but it some of you love it. So there you have it. I wanted to revisit that. In my AURORA visit this week, and with the friend of mine who just joined us, and which I pen-abled, it was this pen that did it. This is the AURORA. It's an Optima model, but what really fascinated him was this flex fine nib. And by the way, he had an excellent, just a beautiful handwriting, and he really enjoyed it. So I think I've pen-abled him to the point where I think he's going to be ordering more pens. But it was this pen and also my vintage AURORA 88 that kind of did it for him. This is the AURORA Vintage 88. Vintage because the nib is kind of really soft. It's the old version of this nib. So I guess he likes the softness, and they're both nibs that work really nicely and are very wet. I know that some of you said the fine AURORA nibs are kind of scratchy. Mine are not that scratchy. But I understand what you're saying. There's that feedback. But I can tell you that the feedback you get and the wetness you get out of this flex nib is fabulous. So I thought I'd revisit that. Another viewer, because I did mention last week that I'm getting the new Scribble model. In fact, it should be coming in any day now. And we'll present that to you in due course. And the question was, are these Scribble pens, they're fairly expensive, worth the high price? My answer to that is absolutely. This is a well-made pen with an in-house nib. And take a look at this. I mean, this is the Feel the Flex. Or feel the writing. You definitely feel the writing. It has kind of a sailor-like scribing sound and feel. but it's juicy, wet, and flexy. So if you can afford it, put some money aside. These scribble pens are really, really nice. I only own one, and maybe we'll see with that pen that's being loaned to me for review. If I'm ultimately going to purchase it, I might ask them for a discount, and maybe they'll give me one and I'll end up keeping it. We shall see. We shall see. But beautiful pen. So I wanted to revisit that. The next one is, you'll remember that in my what's new in my fountain pen studios, I ordered this fine Sundance nib, and I wanted to show you how it writes. So this is the MAJOHN. Well, why is it not writing? Did I put ink in here? Oh, maybe the ink is finished. I'll be right back. I think the ink is finished. Okay, so I'm back. Yeah, I looked like I was short in ink. This is the MAJOHN Sun Expedition fine nib. I gotta tell you, it's got some really nice bounce. Take a look at that. And you'll... So the springiness is really nice. And it kind of writes nice and juicy. If you compare it to my medium nib, this one has a medium nib. This is the 139. You know, the medium has a tendency to write like almost a broad, and the fine writes like a medium. So if you like juicy, springy nibs, whatever MAJOHN you get, make sure you get it in that Sun Expedition nib. Now, the new titanium P141, from what I understand, may actually have that standard MAJOHN nib, which is, let me just see if I've got it here. I think it's this one. Yeah, this one here, which is not nearly as springy and performing, if you will. This is the MAJOHN standard nib. I mean, this one writes okay because I played around with it, and it still needs some work. It's still scratchy right here, but I'm hoping they give you the choice, because I would put another fine in that new titanium pen that we all expect to be coming out sometime soon. So there you have some of the pens that I wanted to revisit this week from last week, and maybe answer some of the comments. So stay tuned, and we've got a new theme for next week, and we'll show you what my weapons will be for next week. We'll change it up a little bit. You'll see. Be right back. Okay, so we're back for the next segment, which is, what are my weapons for next week? Well, let me show you what they are and give you a few seconds to guess what the theme is for this week. A little bit particular, but I think you should be able to guess right away. Here's my overhead camera. So there you have it. I think this should be pretty obvious. Yeah, these are all my pocket pens. Not all of them, actually. The ones I prefer. And there's too many of them. We're going to have to include in my next week weapons 2 other writing instruments. It's this pencil that we're going to take a look at, the Stadler, and also this Navlor Eclipse. So we've got 10 pens to choose from the rest. And I'll tell you which ones I'm going to eliminate immediately. This big thing, I mean, I have it just because I think it's fun to have, but I know I'm not going to use. It's got a great nib, but I'm just not going to use it. So there's no point in even trying to fit it into my into my pen case. So she's gone. This thing, I forget what it is. It's a MAJOHN. It's the worst pen I bought this year. I don't even know how to open it. I'm not even going to bother with it, so we'll eliminate that. I've got 3 Ondines here, and I think I'm going to go with this brass one here. So we're going to eliminate, this one is just another version of this one, and I believe the nib in this one is just fabulous, and I don't like the slippery. This one is the I forget now, the M1. It's too slippery for me. I never liked it from the get-go. So we're going to eliminate those. How much do I have left? I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. So I've got to eliminate 4 because these 2 are going to be theirs to make it 12. Now, these 3 pens, or these 2, have the exact same nib. Okay, they're the EDC, and they're kind of a clone of the Kaweco. So I'm going to eliminate 1 and keep the other one. I'm going to eliminate the Ultim just because I haven't done enough writing with this titanium version. So that's 1 down. I've got, unfortunately, eliminate this Opus 88 Mini simply because it's broken. I'll show you where. This is supposed to kind of pull up, and it snapped on me. So I can't operate that piston filler, and right now the ink is stuck and there's not much I could do, so I know I'm not going to use this pen. I'm going to have to eliminate the Opus, which is too bad. I have to find a way to repair it. So what have I got left here? I got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, and 12. I still have to eliminate 2. I'm going to eliminate the Wes Anderson, but I will write with it just to show you how it's doing. And I'm going to have to make up my mind. I might eliminate the TWSBI, but we'll take it from there. If there's any of these that don't write to my satisfaction, we'll eliminate. So we'll do kind of a work in progress, so to speak. Let me get my notebook out again, which is this Good Impressions notebook. We'll go to the next page. Actually, no, we can write on this page. So why don't we just put it this way? Okay. I'm going to just squeeze it a little bit so that we can get a better shot of it. Okay, so what's the first pen? First one is this Monte Grappa Mini Mia. It's a mini pen. It's got some silver trimmings, and you can tell the patina on that silver is kind of oxidized, or I don't know what the expression is, but you can tell the silver here is much brighter than the one that's exposed. I did damage this nib at one point in time, so I want to see whether or not it still writes. So this is the, not bad, Monte Grappa. There you go. It's run out. So that speaks for itself. We'll eliminate this one. It's just not writing properly because of that nib. I'm going to have to repair it because it's a gorgeous little pen. So we'll eliminate that. The next one is this. This is a Parker Duofold Original Mini. So it's the Mini Parker Duofold. Beautiful pen. Has a tendency to dry, just like its bigger master, if you will. Parker Duofold. I think it's called Mini. It's got a 14 karat or an 18 karat. 18 karat nib. When it writes really nicely. Problem is it has a tendency to dry. What we will revisit the pen at the end of the week. Next, this is kind of a Parker Duofold Mini look-alike. It's a Kagaloo 316 Mini. I changed the nib on that. I don't know why I changed the nib, because the Kagaloo nibs are great, but I put a little flex, an Osprey flex there, so we'll see how it writes. So this is the Kagaloo 316 Mini. It's got a fine Osprey number 5 flex nib. Very nice writer, I gotta tell you. And the Kegelu nib, the number 5 Kegelu nib that's originally in this pen, I've got it in another one that I'm going to show you in a minute. So not at a loss, we'll show you how that Kegelu number 5 nib works. Here's the Wes Anderson, I don't know what to call this. I guess it would be the Wes Anderson. Wow, it's still writing nicely. I don't know why I'm eliminating it. Mont Blanc clone. I haven't written with this pen in a while. Every time I pick it up to revisit it, it writes. It's even got a little spring to it. Not a spring, a bounce, I guess is the right expression. Maybe I will not be eliminating this one. This one writes really nicely. So let's keep it in mind. Next is this Gravitas. Look at this. I don't know why it's doing that. Usually has a nice sound, but maybe it's because I haven't opened it up in ages. Let me see if it writes. Yeah. Gravitas Ultim. I know there's a name for this pen. I forget what it is, but it's a pocket pen. There's a particular expression they use. And what's curious about this one is that it has a number 6. Probably a Bach nib. And it's a broad. Very rarely do you see a number 6 nib in a pocket pen. But there you have it. Very nice. I doubt very much that I will be eliminating this one. Oh, that's not a good sound. Okay, next. This is what they call the EDC. It is an imitation of the Kaweco Sport Brass. It's got a Schmidt fine nib. Yeah, fine nib. So this is what they call the EDC. Whoa, that's really thin. EDC Kaweco Sport Brass, I guess we would call it, which I'll show you in a minute. Clone. It's got a Schmidt fine nib. Writes really nicely, but it's a little thin. But there you have it. And it is, of course, a clone of the real thing, which here it is. And you can tell that the brass on this thing has been exposed. So this is the Kaweco. Whoa, is it writing? Yes, it is. Sport brass, I believe, is the way we reference it. What's interesting about this one, it's got a Kaweco number 5 stub, as you can tell from the line variation. So this one's staying just because it has a stub. Okay, next. We just get... Do I have one around? No, I don't. Okay, well, that's okay. Turn the page. Next is this Bohème Mont Blanc clone. Let's see if this thing writes. I haven't written with it just the other day. I took it out just to see if it still wrote, planning for this video. So this is the, yeah, Mont Blanc Bohème clone, for lack of a better word, but it's a MAJOHN X something, I forget. don't know if it's an X1. Boy, that nib's got a little spring to it. Can you see it? Really nice. I'm going to have a hard time eliminating pens. So that's another nice little, and what's fun about it is that he gives you a nice nice size when you post it. This, I believe, is the 82. Am I getting the number right? I think it's the Jinao 82, but the mini. I mean, the Jinao 82 is mini as it is, but this is the mini version, and it has the Kegalu number 5 nib, which usually are very juicy. So, whoops, Jinhao, a little dry, 82 mini with a number 5 Kegalu nib. Yeah, I would have to prime it a little bit. It's a little dry. But don't forget, I haven't written with this for a while. So, and that brings me to, let me just take a little side note here. Oh, my voice is dry. Talk too much. Brings me to a question from one of the viewers. Say, hey, you've got so many pens inked all at the same time. Typically, how many pens do you have inked at any one time? You don't want to know. Excuse me. You also don't want to do what I do. Because of what because of this channel, and that I'm constantly taking out 12 pens at a time, it's hard to keep up and wash them all, and so I hate to say it, but I probably have hundreds inked at the same time. And at any one time, I'll take them out and I need to prime them. I'm not going to remove the ink. I'll prime them, dip them in a little bit of water, kind of push the feed or the converter or the piston to kind of push the ink down and do my best, okay? If they're empty, I won't even wash it. I'll just re-ink it. But that's the wrong thing to do. The right thing to do is to take care of your pens. Once you've finished using them, wash them out, dry them out, put them away. That's the way to do it. But I've got to be honest, I just don't have the time to do it. It's served me well right now. I probably ruined some nibs, like this one. This one's dry because I just dipped it and started writing. But ideally, I should have flushed it out, had it dried out, and I'm sure that nib would have written much, much nicer. But having said that, even without it, you can tell that this Kegalu nib performs really, really nicely. Okay, so that's the Kegalu nib. Next on my list is this Lotus Ion. It's a copper, and this is the other pen that I have with a number 6. Whoop, let me just turn that so I can post it, with a number 6 nib. Let me see if it writes. This is another one that I just dipped earlier, but I'm not sure it's going to write now. So this is, oh yes it does, Lotus Ion, and it has a Yowo number 6. Ooh, is it juicy? Number 6 Yowo number 6 broad nib. You see how wet and juicy it is? And you can tell that it was not washed out because it's got a mixture of inks. It had a black ink, and I mixed it with this new burgundy, MAJOHN burgundy that we just reviewed. So that's what gives you kind of a brown-black look, which is beautiful, actually. I wish I had an ink that wrote that way. Okay, so that's the Ion. Now, this thing has a tendency to, because it's copper, when you touch it, your hands will smell of copper eventually. So I'm not sure I'm going to actually use this, but I like the way it writes. So it's going to be hard to make a choice. This is the, you all know, this is the TWSBI, but it's the mini. So TWSBI AL, oh, I'm at a loss. TWSBI Mini, but I think it has a number, mini. And it's got a number 5, 1.4 stub, which writes so beautifully. I'm not a fan of these TWSBIs, and I don't know why, because every time I pick one up, or most times, they write beautifully. And I love this ink, which is a nice light blue ink, my favorite. Ugh! I thought I was going to eliminate the TWSBI just because I never write with them, but that's not going to happen, I think. Okay, this is the Dieman M2, and it's the brass version. It's the best of them all, folks. It is that, my recollection is that that little nib was springy and really, really nice. Let's just see if it lives up to its reputation. Yeah. Ah. Dieman M2 brass. I think this is probably one of the new generation nibs. I'm not sure. There it is. It is a medium. Is that a medium? Can't be. Yes, it's a medium. So it's a number 5. Medium. But because of the spring and bounce, it gives you some line variation. And it's juicy. If you have to order any of the Dieman minis, this is the one to go with. I've reviewed it. You can look it up, M2, Dieman M2, and I believe it was a very positive review that I gave it, or I should have given it. Okay, so those are the minis, and I'm going to have to make a choice, I realize, because we're kind of running out of places for them. Let me just see. Okay. Well, I think I got space for the Navlor here. This is the Navlor Eclipse that we just purchased this week, which I really like. Got to tell you, really, really nice. When you compare it to, let me just show you. I want to compare it to the other cliplet, or here we go. The other ones that I have. This is the MAJOHN, I forget, A1, A2. This is a Jinao version. And this is the original, one of the original pilots. It's got a stub gold nib. But look how much bigger the Eclipse is. Now I'm wondering if it's the same size as the Curitas. But there you have it. It's quite bigger. It's longer and much girthier. And I really like the size of that Eclipse. Now, I did play around with this. Actually, let's give it its own page. And I'm wondering whether or not I'm going to even do a review. There's been other reviews, but we shall see. I'm having a hard time liking the nib on this pen. But let's see. Maybe I'll change my mind. This is, and I can never spell Navlor. Okay, got it. It's N-A-H, Velour, Eclipse. And it's the gold. I think there's new versions have come out with all kinds of beautiful colors. It's must have a fine nib, if not even an extra fine nib. You know, I can't really fault this nib. I think it's more a question. Let me just go a little bit, yeah, so that you could see, really appreciate the line here. I mean, it's got a little spring to it. It's stiff. It's stiff. Very rigid. Maybe that's the problem. The writing experience is not a great one. It has a little bit of feedback. You can hear it. Bordering on scratchy. Very dry. It just doesn't do it for me, if you know what I mean. It just doesn't do it for me. Now, I'm wondering whether or not there are different sizes for that nib. Because if there are, or if anyone you know, if I could replace that nib with something else, which has a bigger line, let me know, because I think I'm going to do it because I otherwise enjoy the pen tremendously. I really like the size of this pen. The size and comfort. So it's really a shame that I just don't like that nib. And again, it just may be because I'm not totally fond of fine nibs. I like fine nibs that are kind of right wet. And if they don't, then I have a tendency to stay away from them. That's just me. Here is the Staedtler hexagonal mechanical pencil, one among many because they have different models. This was the simpler, cheapest model, if you will. So this is the, how do I spell Staedtler? It's A-E. Yes, it is. Whoop. Staedtler X. Whoop. Yeah, that's number 5. I have a tendency to snap. I'm wondering even if I have any nibs in here. I should. No, there's nothing left. Oh, I have to look. Yeah, there's nothing left. Let me just see if another one comes out. I think they only put one in. Okay, well, let's see if this works. Look at this. Can't. Just can't. So I'm going to have to rethink about this one because it's keeps snapping on me. But you see how I can't deal with number 5, hexagonal. 0.5. No, it's okay. I think it was just a question of that lead being almost over. It was finished. So it was moving up and down. This one is a new one that just popped out. So it's not as bad as I thought. But with 0.5, well, there you go. That's me. I just can't write with a 0.5. So I'm going to have to really reconsider my choices when I order them. I have to, I want a mixture. And some of them are stiffer and more rigid. And I'm just wondering whether or not it's even too hard. It's 2H. So, does that mean that they're just darker? Or does that mean they're stiffer? I'm not sure. I still have quite a bit of education to go on these pencils. I've been ordering them because I'm a fanatic. I like their shapes. I like the way they feel. And their pencils, it brings me back to, my elementary days when we would write mostly with pencils. And I like the shape of it. And I've got some beautiful ones that have just come in that I really am anxious to show you. But I think I have to educate myself on what is it that I'm ordering. What does this 2H mean, and HB, and 2, 3.3, 0.5, 0.7, 0.9. I just, and I also figure out what nibs or what leads go in each pen. Are they proprietary, or can I just put any lead? All of that's part of an education process that I got to go through. So I don't pretend to be an expert on mechanical pencils. I'm just a fanatic right now, and I'm overdoing it. But there you have it. I'll find a way to write with this one during the week, or I will eliminate it and put another in its place. So there you have it. Those are the pens for next week, folks. I still have a choice to make, but I'll do that off camera and maybe take the rest of the day to figure out which ones I will use by just journaling with them, and then we shall see. Stay tuned for the next segment. Okay, so I'm back for the last segment of this recap, which is YouTube review. What have I got for you in terms of other reviewers? I have 3 reviews that I thought of interest. My friend at Une Fontaine de Plume reviewed the Eureka, a series of Eureka pens, paying some particular attention to that new titanium nib that they've come up with. Fascinating nib. I just can never order it. You need to follow the website and hope that it appears. Independent pen maker, lots of work, I guess, is involved. So they're not readily available, but they may be worth the hunt, if you know what I mean. So that's one. 2. Doodlebud finally gets to do his detailed review of the pen he received from Asvine, the V800. So you can see, I think, if you want another opinion on that V800 and you're wondering whether or not it's worthwhile, there's another review for you. And speaking of the V800, Inquiring Minds has this excellent video on how disassemble the V800, as he only could. I always want to do this on my channel to give you an indication, and maybe I might start. It's just I have hand tremor. I'm not a very hands guy, you know, in terms of utilizing tools and all the rest of it. I just make a complete mess of things, and I'm just afraid that on camera I'm going to end up breaking my pen or doing something silly, and then I have to keep doing it over and over and over again. So I never do it, but maybe I should start. But having said that, Inquiring Minds has done it for us. So there you have it. That's the third video that I recommend. As far as my own videos are concerned, as you know, I had my last week's recap, which is always of interest. These recaps can be viewed at any time. They're not, in my view, not time sensitive. Other than what's new in the market, everything else can be viewed at any time because we review pens, we review paper, we revisit pens, we look at currently inked, we swatch inks, so they're always useful. And the other video, of course, is on the Hero 1086, that kind of a Justice or Pilot Justice, not clone, but inspired, or pen, in other words, it has the same mechanism I reviewed last week. Next week, what I propose to you is, I've been talking about number 8 steel nibs for some time now, and how I think the Chinese have perhaps started a new trend. Is it going to be a new trend, or is it just passing by interest? I think it's a new trend. I think these number 8 steel nibs are an excellent compromise on the gold number 8 steel nibs, or number 8 nibs, which are so expensive. Even Leonardo is on board. We have now the new Gravitas Monster that has just a wonderful number 8 steel nib. So I thought I'd review some number 8 steel nibs for you, do kind of a showcase of all of my pens, and then maybe do a top 10 and kind of declare a winner in my own mind. So that's for next week. Stay tuned. I'm looking forward to receiving other pens during the week, and I may add one if it becomes convenient for my, or if it fits into my schedule, if you will. So there you have it. Thank you very much for joining me. That wraps up our another weekly recap. Please subscribe, ring the bells, and comment. Always welcomed. If you have any questions, please go ahead and ask those questions, because it's just another way of feeding these recaps, and I enjoy answering them when I can. And if I can not only answer the questions, but also do a brief demonstration during a recap, I think it's for the benefit of all concerned. Why not? So thank you very much. Grazie molto. Take care. Enjoy your pens, and be safe.